Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Good question. So the question is, you're hearing me talk about like kind of systematic issues of injustice or break, peacemaking at a far more micro level. What does that look like? Is it translatable? And I'm glad that you asked that. Yeah, we're not. I mean, the work that we're doing with the Global Immersion Project is connected with these big issues, and we're in the middle of it. But the language that we use in terms of the training that we do is forming everyday peacemakers. And what we're trying to accomplish there is helping people recognize that peacemaking doesn't just happen in the spaces of armed conflict and international war and so on and so forth. Yes, it does. But where the rubber meets the road for us as everyday peacemakers are in the spaces of interpersonal relationship. Are you and I trained? Do we have the capacity and the tools to work through the conflict that we find ourselves in? Personally speaking, if peacemaking doesn't translate out in my home, I have no credibility as a peacemaker in neighborhood, city, nation, or world. So the framework that we've developed for everyday peacemaking is a 4-practice framework that is a way of living life wherever you find yourself. So you're the type of person that would be equipped to actually enter into conflict, whether it's interpersonally or on a macro level scale. You'd be equipped to heal rather than win. And so. Does that help? So our training is actually designed for the spaces of home, neighborhood, city, nation, and world, because those are the everyday spaces that we dwell in. Did I interact with your question all right?
Yeah, or like where do you even start? I guess
Yeah, I think a good place to start is just recognizing that the way that we deal with conflict is the way that conflict has been dealt with in our lives. We learn how, we would say that conflict isn't bad. Conflict is actually good. I would go so far as to say conflict was written into the created order that God called good. Why? Because he created diversity, and where there's diversity, conflict is a part of that. So conflict itself isn't a bad thing. Conflict is good. As a matter of fact, we would say that conflict is one of the most fertile spaces for relationships to grow and develop and flourish. What's bad is how we deal with conflict. Most of us have been completely under-equipped to handle conflict transformatively. So most of us, we've either been hurt and so we run away, or we've been trained that you win and so we run toward to win or to destroy. Very few of us have actually had the experiential training to enter into conflict interpersonally, seeking to understand, to heal, to grow this relationship, to see it all the way through a tunnel of chaos. I think as Jean Vanier says, the tunnel of chaos into a place of deeper flourishing and deeper intimacy together, And so where do you start? I think it starts with trying to figure out how have I been experientially trained to deal with conflict, and is it healthy? Is it working? And if so, great, keep pressing in. And if not, then there's a new set of tools that needs to be developed. That's what we're trying to offer is we're saying for the most part, people have not been trained at all to deal with conflict, either on a micro or macro level. So on a micro level, we fight to win. On a macro level, we fight to win, and it's not working. It's not working internationally. It's not working interpersonally when you're talking about divorce statistics and just simply things like that. It's not working, So it has to play out in our everyday spaces, which is why we're saying it's got to be an everyday way of living life, not like I've got those tools somewhere that I'll apply now. No, what does it mean to live this way of life every moment of every day?